Alright guys, motor is in. Motor mount bolts are in. I just gotta snug up this side. I just tightened all the bell housing bolts up, and next I'm gonna do the starter. I was trying to think of a creative way to show it. Let me see if I can get a decent angle on it. Well, I can't really get a good angle in there without blocking my view. So, I'm gonna get my shit together here and line this stuff up. Super easy, basically. Just get it well lit. Alright. Flex plate's in a good spot. Just gotta turn the crank over. And I have the converter bolts over here. I laugh at calling them converter bolts because it's 3 motor mount bolts. They screw right into this converter grate. Get the trusty wing dinger out. Do it right through the wheel well here. Super easy. Kind of hard to see what I'm doing. All I gotta do is get one started though. Too high. There's actually 3 bolt patterns on this converter. Is it this one? Lots of guesswork with 1,000 horsepower, guys. Let's go to the top of the converter plate. See what I can get. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to crawl under there, which I thought would be easier to do from here. But to line this fucking thing up, it's not gonna give me any breaks. Yep, it's that bolt hole right there. 2 seconds from here, of course. And you don't want to make the converter too tight. You want to go finger tight, because if you tighten the shit out of 2 of them and you can't get the 3rd one in, it's your fault. My socket's a little shallow. So I'll put on the deep well. You can actually hear the clanking. Is the bolt banging up against the flex plate. That's that little bit of flex, a little bit of give you want it to have. And there's nice coolant and oil and shit all over the steering rack. It's a beautiful thing. Pass. Go. There. 3rd bolt. Fucking dreaming. There it goes. And then what I do is crank on them with the old ratchet. Pulling the converter out. I'm gonna rotate this motor a tiny bit. Oh, too fucking much. Should be good. Yeah, here we go, snugging up. Yep, that's plenty tight. Fucking break the thing off. Rotate. Smash. What's cool is you got a deep socket. You can smush it right up against the block. It'll stop it from rotating and tighten it. Like a two-piece. Alright. Last one. And then I zip tied the starter. It's just zip tied here. So then when I'm done, I can just fucking blast the starter in. Yeah, plenty tight. Okay, and then I think this takes a 13 in these converter bolts. I gotta cut them. I think I got the converter bolts up here somewhere. No, they're not up here. Starter bolts, they're in a box. Yep, these two grody bolts. Jimmy 1 and 2. And I believe they are 13. So let's jam 13 on here. Is this it? Yes sir, they're 13s. I need this bullshit and I need a cutter. Little snips. Give it a snippy snip. Fucking blow the bolts up. Nice and slimy under here. Wires look good. Yeah, a little stretched. Oh, before I do this, let me let this hang quick. It is way easier to plug in the crank position sensor. Way, way, way easier. Instead of reaching around the starter. Good idea. I looked up, saw jack all was fucking plugged in. Alright. Come on. Won't start. It's okay. Yeah, here it goes. Loosen it up, make sure the other one lines up. Excellent, and since it's the starter, I'm just gonna snug them. Make sure it doesn't fucking fall out. Because that would suck. It's tight. It's plenty tight. Okay. That shit ain't going anywhere. Alright guys, I got this guy forward so I can get my Kia and shit in. And usually these things are fine. You can tell. Let me take a look at the screen here. Normally these gaskets, they don't leak or nothing. Like there ain't even a hint of it. But just as like Brian Racing and I have really gotten used to using trusting the copper spray. So like super light copper, just so you can't see any soot. Just blast the soot out. And then the real fun can begin putting this fucking manifold in. Manifold side down. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be a treat. Let's bring it down. I'm gonna jam the whole turbo and manifold and everything in one piece without. Alright, this guy. Push it in. Man, if I can get a bolt or two started, we will be golden. Oh boy. The bolt's gonna fuck me. The bolts are gonna fuck me. The bolt's sticking out even a tiny bit hit the valve cover. That's how tight this operation is. Let me back these guys out. They actually kind of thread into the gasket. Let me see if... Oh, kind of screwed. Kind of screwed on that. I don't think I've ever done it as one whole piece before. Neighbor's dog is pissed. Dog's pissed. I said this would be easy. Alright, I got one on the ground. Now, man, it just fits around that shock tower. The turbo's probably blocking it, but holy shit. What I'm trying to do is get this guy in the back. Yep. Alright, I got like 3 threads. What? Better than no threads. Sometimes these gaskets warp a little bit on the edge and the layers get away from you. That's what's going on right now. Being a pain in the ass. Alright, I want to get the zipper on there before this screws me over. All right. Good enough. Try to get the rest in. Excellent. Wiggle the manifold a little. What I gotta do is get a ratchet wrench get this front one going, because it's hard to get to. You can't even fit that Beastmaster Milwaukee in there. So you want to make sure this guy, in the end, you don't get screwed again. Tighten all the rest, can't get this one in. Cross thread it out of frustration. Yeah, it's going. Let's turn it by hand. So that's hot side and all manifold. And then I hit this with my longer ratchet, and I'm not going to burn up any more tape. Alright, this side should hopefully be easier, because this, look at that. He really outdid himself on this kit, let me tell you. I mean, it looks like this shit isn't going to fit. And it looks like it looks like a set of Corvette headers. Like, you're like, I'm not going to get these in, and then you have to beat the shit out of them, and then they go in. Whereas, these you're like, I'm not going to do so hot, and then bam, they're installed. Just got to line up the number 1 over here. Come on, help me out. We have to twist this thing funny. There is not a lot of room, but look at that. That's what I call a successful turbo kit. Not that you would have to, but one you can take on and off many times without horseshit issues. And since this side doesn't weigh 50 pounds, it kind of supports itself easier. Alright, where's my master blaster? Only one you can't get to with the Sidewinder is the very, very back SOB. Could be worse. I think I can put a tiny extension on, or just a deep socket. I think if I mess with it, I can get something on it. On this one? Whoa! Whoa! You can get it. It's like no big deal. So I don't really need this guy. I just have a long 10mm I jam in there and snug them up by hand.